Hey everyone, it's Hungry Cat, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to choose a power bank for backpacking. While it's nice to completely disconnect from time to time while hiking, most of us are eventually going to want to bring a cell phone or something that needs recharging on one of our backpacking trips. So, how do you keep electronics charged when you're hiking on trail? Well, as many of you know, you need some type of lightweight portable power bank to bring along so that you can keep your devices charged. Now I know this sounds simple, but there are a lot of choices out on the market today, so it can be kind of daunting to figure out what you actually need. I know that I really struggled with this when I was trying to figure out my own optimal setup. Today we're going to go over everything you need to know to shop for and select a power bank to meet your backpacking needs. As always, don't forget to check out the video description for helpful links to everything we'll talk about today, as well as the current power bank and wall charger setup that I'm using on trail. Alright, let's get started. The three main considerations when selecting a power bank are battery capacity, which is how much power the battery can deliver before it needs to be recharged, weight, how much it actually weighs, which is a big consideration for backpackers, and speed, how fast the power bank itself can be recharged once it's depleted, and what hardware specifications need to be met to realize this maximum recharge speed. Now I didn't mention price, but obviously price will be a factor. In this video I want to focus first on making sure you're armed with the information you need to pick the power bank that will best meet your backpacking needs. And then you can shop around on your own to balance price with fit. Okay, so those are the three categories we're going to cover today: capacity, weight, and speed. So now let's break them down one by one. Battery capacity. You'll generally see battery capacity expressed in terms of milliamp hours, or mAh. The most common size I see out on the trail is 10,000 milliamp hours, though up to 20,000 is fairly common as well. Now, I don't know about you, but I have no meaningful way of really understanding what a milliamp hour is. You could call it puppy cuddles and it really wouldn't be much more useful to me. So, here's how I think about it. First, how long do you expect to be backpacking? If you're only going to be gone overnight and are only worried about keeping a phone charged, you can probably get by with one of those cylindrical, pen-sized, under 5,000 milliamp hour chargers. They usually are designed to give a phone 1 to 1.5 charges. For purposes of this video, I'm going to focus on those of you who expect to be backpacking for at least 3 to 5 days between stops where you can charge up your electronics. If you'll be about 5 days in between charges and are just worried about charging up a cell phone, or maybe a cell phone and a small rechargeable headlamp, then as long as you hike with your phone in airplane mode most of the time, 10,000 milliamp hours should be enough for you. If you add another device into this mix for the same time period of 5 days, such as a Garmin or a camera in addition to your phone, then you might want to consider going with 12,000 to 15,000 milliamp hours. The minute you go beyond this and add a third major device into the mix, it's probably time to start considering a 20,000 milliamp hour power bank. I'm currently using a 20,000 milliamp hour power bank on the CDT, and that keeps my cell phone, my Nitecore headlamp, Garmin InReach Mini, and camera batteries charged for filming. To summarize, for an average of 5 days between charging points, for a phone and maybe a rechargeable headlamp, you'll want 10,000 milliamp hours. For the phone and headlamp plus one other major device, you'll want 12 to 15,000 milliamp hours. And for the phone and headlamp plus two major devices, you'll probably want 20,000 milliamp hours. Most hikers aren't going to need more than 20,000 milliamp hours, unless maybe you're using your phone outside of airplane mode for extended periods, making a lot of phone calls, or doing some heavy camera work or using a drone. Of course, please know that these are tips that have worked for me. Capacity you need is going to depend ultimately on your own personal electronic setup. I thru-hiked the AT with a 10,000 milliamp hour bank and only needed to recharge my phone. I then hiked half the CDT with a 15,000 milliamp hour power bank, charging my phone and a Garmin InReach Mini. And as I mentioned, I'm now on the CDT with a 20,000 milliamp hour power bank for my phone, headlamp, Garmin, and camera. So these guidelines are based on a pretty wide range of experience that I personally have with the different levels of capacity for these power banks. Okay, the next factor to consider is weight. This one's pretty simple. Once you've determined the capacity that you need for your power bank, the next step is to start narrowing down your choices by weight. There's not really a lot to say here. Obviously, you want the lightest weight power bank that will meet your budget and do the job. And typically, the greater the capacity, the heavier the power bank. I'm currently using one of the lightest 20,000 milliamp power banks on the market, the Nitecore NB20000. It only weighs 11.45 ounces, which is pretty amazing. Anker and RAV Power are two other staple companies that offer a lot of choices when it comes to power banks. What you need to consider when it comes to weight is not just the weight of the power bank itself, but also of the wall charger you're going to need to keep it charged. You can choose a wall charger that's as lightweight as possible, but this will often come at the expense of charging speed. So when you're considering the weight of your wall charger that you're going to buy to keep your power bank charged, you also need to think about speed. So let's go ahead and tackle speed now. Speed is the final selection category, and specifically I'm referring to how fast you can completely recharge the power bank once it's fully depleted. This is something to consider because many power banks require up to 8 or 12 hours even to fully recharge once they're depleted. If you want to have the flexibility to cruise through towns and not necessarily stay overnight, or to not have to sit for long periods of time by an electrical outlet so you can make sure that your power bank gets recharged, then you want to look for something that can be recharged either as fast as possible or in a reasonable period of time for you. There are 4 factors that impact speed. 1 is the power bank itself, how fast it can be recharged. 2 is the wall charger. It needs to deliver the amount of power required by the power bank to reach maximum charging speed. For example, 30 watts is pretty typical for quick charging power banks. Number 3 is the type of cable that will connect the wall charger to your power bank. Most power banks require a USB-C to USB-C type cable to recharge at maximum speed. Number 4 is consideration around your wall charger's output vis-a-vis the number of ports that are on the wall charger itself. For example, if you have a 40-watt wall charger with 2 USB-C ports, chances are each port is only going to deliver 20 watts. Therefore, if your quick charge power bank requires 30 watts to reach maximum recharging speed, plugging it into one of those ports is going to leave you with a 10-watt deficit, and you'll never reach the highest possible speed to recharge that power bank. So you want to make sure that when you plug into the port, you get the required wattage to recharge at fastest speed. And if you have multiple ports, you want to understand if plugging in, say, your phone to charge at the same time you will recharge your power bank will impact the speed of the power bank recharging. This is very common, so make sure you're going to have the right amount of power going to your power bank based on your expected charging scenarios. If you expect to charge your phone at the same time you recharge your power bank, which would be very normal, make sure you get a wall charger that is powerful enough to deliver the required wattage for a quick charge at the same time as it's charging up your phone. The power banks that recharge the fastest typically weigh a little bit more, but to me it's worth it not to have to worry about sitting around in towns for long periods of time waiting for my stuff to recharge. To give you a real life example of these considerations, I'm currently using a 20,000 milliamp hour MB20000 Nitecore power bank. It recharges in 3.5 hours, but requires at least a 30-watt charger with a USB-C connection to do so. It didn't come with a USB-C to USB-C connecting cord between the wall charger and the power bank, so I had to pick one of those up separately. I then purchased a 60-watt Anker Nano 735 wall charger. It has 2 USB-C ports, one of which is quick charge, and it also has a regular USB port. The quick charge port delivers up to 60 watts, but when the second USB-C port is also in use, it only delivers 30 watts per port. However, since 30 watts is what is required to reach the fastest possible recharge time for the power bank, I can simultaneously charge my power bank at the highest possible speed and my phone while I'm in a town. The power bank itself weighs only 11.45 ounces, and the wall charger comes in at a compact 4.5 ounces. This setup wasn't cheap, and it obviously isn't the lightest I possibly could have had, but for me it is quite optimal in terms of the balance of speed to weight, and it meets my backpacking needs perfectly. Okay, that was a lot of information. So, in summary, you want to consider capacity, weight, and speed when purchasing a power bank. When it comes to speed, think about the time you want to spend recharging your power bank and whether that even matters to you. If it doesn't matter, then don't worry about it. If it does, make sure you pair it with the right wall charger and charging cable to achieve the highest possible recharge time for the power bank. I hope you found this video helpful and now feel more confident to choose the right combination of a wall charger and power bank to meet your backpacking needs. If you got any value out of this video, please do hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends or on social media. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you in the next video.